ब्रिटिश शासन के खिलाफ बीजेपी लड़ा था।
नहीं, कौन बोल रहे हैं? आप बोल रहे हैं?
On behalf of All India Trinamool Congress, I rise to speak on the Carriage of Goods by Sea Bill 2024. Sir, India has 13 major ports: Kolkata, Paradip, Visakhapatnam, Chennai, Tuticorin, Cochin, and some others, Port Bliss and others. But Kolkata port is the oldest port in our country, established by British East India Company in the year 1817. And sir, this port is known as the gateway to Eastern India for the rest of the world. The port is part of the 21st century maritime Silk Road. As of March 2018, the port is capable of processing annually 650,000 containers, mostly from Nepal, Bhutan, and India's northern state. Sir, the Hooghly River...
Which are landlocked places.
Which are landlocked places. And sir, the Hooghly River, where the port is located, experiences heavy siltation, reducing the navigable draft to 6 to 7 meters from its original 9 meters. This restricts the size and draft of vessels that can access the port. The lack of regular dredging further exacerbates the problem of fluctuating drafts. So I would like to request the Honorable Minister that to save the Kolkata port, dredging of Hooghly River should be taken into consideration, and at the same time I would like to request the Honorable Minister to take necessary steps for infrastructural development of the Kolkata port along with all modern facilities. And sir, Dhamra, Mudra plus 12 other ports are operated by private companies.
Which company?
The company name is all known. This is Adani company. Why, sir? Because, sir, our country has 34,000 miles of coastline, and despite of that, we have not large ship tankers. Whereas the small country like Denmark, Japan, they are doing excellently good work in the field of carriage of goods by sea. So this is my one point, sir, and the bill gives the current government excessive power to regulate and control the transportation sector, leaving state government, local bodies and small logistic businesses with no authority. By doing so, the federal structure of the country is being weakened. The bill also introduces complex and unnecessary rule that small transporters and local businesses will find extremely hard to follow. The small operators will now have to meet the same high standard and regulatory requirements as large multinational companies. However, since small companies do not have the financial or technical capacity to meet this regulation, they will eventually be forced out of business. This move will benefit large logistic companies. The government, instead of supporting small business, seems to be pushing them towards closure through heavy regulation. This clearly shows that the government's lack of concern for small and medium enterprises, making it easier for large private corporations like Adani's to dominate the market. And one of the biggest problems is that the bill would significantly increase transportation costs across the country, which will ultimately be passed on to customers, as a result of which the price of essential items like grains, vegetables and other daily use products will increase sharply, causing a rise in inflation. This will put a huge financial burden to lower and middle income groups. Sir, the government has introduced provisions that allow private companies to operate major ports, cargo terminals, logistic infrastructure under the public-private partnership model. This means that large multinational companies will now control most of the logistic infrastructure, leading to a monopoly in maritime logistics. Over time, the public sector controls
Madam,
over
please
essential
conclude.
transportation will be weakened, and putting job security of port workers, affordability of transportation service, and state control at risk. The government is pushing its privatization agenda under the excuse of modernization,
Thank you,
which will
Srimati
have
Supriya
long-term
Sule ji.
damaging effects on the economy and common people. Another very concerning aspect is this: the bill grants legal immunity to large logistic companies in case of loss, damage, delay of goods during transportation. This means
Srimati
that
Supriya
if a
Sule ji.
small trader's goods get damaged or lost during transit, the large logistic companies will not be held accountable, and the small traders will receive no compensation or legal protection.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
This
Thank you.
provision is extremely
Thank you so
unfair,
much.
as it clearly
Srimati Supriya Sule ji.
favors by big.
Lady member, let her conclude, sir. 1 minute. Let her conclude.
No, she was given time to conclude. Now, Dadaji will conclude. आपकी फ्लाइट छूट जाएगी, please.
24 Hague Rules, which was amended by the protocol signed as Brussels on 23rd February 1968 and on 21st December 1979, Visby Rules.
Thank you.
The schedule to the said rule provide the